regardless of which metal you choose to go with. At the end of the day, I think it's important to remember silver or gold, I believe it stands a far better chance than the dollar bill. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another video. Today, I want to talk about both silver and gold, and between the two metals, which one you should be considering stacking. But really quick, just in case you're new, make sure to subscribe for daily videos. Also subscribe to my second channel, which is my backup channel for exclusive weekly content. Brand new video over there, go check it out. The link will be in the description. Got a brand new video coming tonight. And if you want to help support the channel by getting some DYDSS merchandise, of course we have some precious metal themed t-shirts and hoodies which are up for grabs, along with a ton of other products, t-shirts, hoodies, even stickers, many of which are raising funds and awareness for different charity organizations. And of course the brand new Kraken Stackin' t-shirt, hoodie, sticker, and coffee mug inspired by the beautiful 2-ounce silver Kraken coin. Any and all merchandise can be found by clicking the first link in the description section down below. Thank you in advance, it's more than appreciated. But today I want to talk about both silver and gold, and people who have a personal gold to silver ratio. For every X amount of ounces of silver, they'll pick up X amount of ounces of gold. And I want to get into all of that, and I want to kind of compare the two metals from a stacking perspective and talk about which one I think is better, which one I think we should be stacking. Now, here's the quick version. I'm stacking both, and I will continue to stack both, and I will do everything in my power to get as much of both metals as I possibly can. But I prioritize silver over gold, and I'm going to get into all of that. So the first thing I want to talk about is the spot price of both silver and gold. Silver right now is just under $27, and the spot price of gold is about $1,943. So by looking at it just from that point of view, somebody who doesn't really fully understand the precious metals might automatically go to saying, oh, I'm going to go for the silver because I can get way more silver for my currency. Now that absolutely is the case. Now with the spot price of silver not only being about $27, you're probably going to be paying at least $30 right now because of the premiums, which would be able to get you roughly 65 to 70 ounces of silver if you had $2,000. Now with the spot price of gold being $1,943 and you had $2,000, and you don't have to pay that crazy high of a premium, if you're able to pick up an ounce of gold close to spot, you're only going to be able to pick up about 1 troy ounce of gold if you have $2,000. So from that perspective right there, a lot of people might say, well, if I have $2,000, why not go with the metal where I can get 65 to 70 ounces rather than the metal where I'd only be able to get 1 ounce out of it? That's a valid point, except there's something important to remember. Silver, sure, you can get way more money for your currency, but the volatility, it's all over the place. It goes up, it goes down. Not even 10 years ago, silver was around $50, and just a couple months ago, it dropped down below $12. So who knows what silver's going to do today, tomorrow, next week, next month. Silver's all over the place, and I've explained in separate videos in the past that silver has plenty of reasons to go up. Silver has plenty of reasons to go down in the short term. It doesn't really have all that many reasons for it to be sitting still, and yet these last couple of weeks, silver has been pretty much sitting still, and I think the reasons it should be going up and the reasons it should be going down are, I think it's pulling the spot price in two different directions and leading to it sitting relatively complacent, but I guess we'll see in the near future, hopefully. Only time will tell. So the volatility with silver, it's all over the place. It's very sporadic. It has its ups, it has its downs. It can go up a couple dollars, it can go down a couple dollars in really just a couple of minutes. So there's that you have to take into consideration, while a lot of people actually prefer gold between the two metals because of its stability. Silver doesn't exactly sit still. Gold, on the other hand, I wouldn't say that it sits still, but it does a little bit better of a job holding its own. So moving away from that, I want to compare it to stocks very, very quickly. And the reason I want to do this is because I think it makes for an interesting picture to paint, to help maybe the brand new person understand. Maybe you're taking a look at precious metals for the first time in your life, and you're coming over from the stock market. Maybe you're familiar with the stock market, maybe you have some experience over there. If that's the case, you probably understand this. Oftentimes, the most quality stocks, the shares that you want to buy, the companies that you want to invest in, come with a pretty hefty price tag. If you want to buy one share of one company, a lot of the time, it's very, very difficult to do because it costs so much. And you might take a look around and find a somewhat similar company within that sector for a much smaller dollar bill price tag per share. And you might think, okay, more value
for my currency.
One fact of the matter is, good isn't always cheap, and cheap isn't always good. Now, I understand that the stock market and precious metals shouldn't necessarily be compared that way, and when I say cheap isn't always good, I'm not referring to silver being cheap and not be able to provide you much value. I do think at the end of the day, regardless of which metal you choose to go with, or if you're like me and choose to go with both, at the end of the day, I think it's important to remember that no matter how you look at it, silver or gold, I believe it stands a far better chance than the dollar bill. But that's just my opinion. It's not financial advice because I'm not a financial advisor. This is just for entertainment purposes. But now, moving away from that, I want to talk about the gold to silver ratio, or more specifically, personal gold to silver ratios. I'm not referring to the actual gold to silver ratio, which we've seen a couple months back was around 1 to 100. In recent weeks, we've seen closer to 1 to 70, maybe 1 to 75, somewhere within that range. Like I said, the spot price of silver fluctuates, and really the main cause of the gold to silver ratio gap closing in or spreading apart, a lot of it has to do with silver going up and down very sporadically. Gold does play a role as well, obviously. But when I talk about a personal gold to silver ratio, when I'm referring to that, I mean how much silver I pick up for every X amount of ounces of gold that I pick up. Now, a lot of people will tell me in the comment section that they'll pick up a troy ounce of gold. They'll pick up a little 1 ounce gold coin for every, 50 ounces of silver, or for every 100 ounces of silver. Or I've gotten comments from people saying that it's closer to every 500, maybe even 1,000 ounces of silver for every 1 ounce of gold that they pick up. Now, for me personally, I have absolutely no idea what my personal gold to silver ratio is. I do not do things that way. That is not how I stack. That is not my strategy. That's not how I go about stacking. Now, when I said earlier in the video that I'm trying to get as much of both metals as I possibly can, that's basically my focal point. That's how I stack. I prioritize silver over gold, and that's for a couple of different reasons. The first reason is, as I said previously, you can get more silver for your currency. That obviously plays a little bit of a role, but what plays an even bigger role than that, what's even more important to me than that fiat dollar bill price tag, because at the end of the day, I don't really care how much silver or gold is worth once it's in my possession. I only care how much it's worth prior to me picking it up. So, with that being said, the most important thing that I look at, and this is just my opinion, but I personally consider silver to be the opportunity metal. I think it has way more room to grow and perform over time than gold. Now, I do think gold is going to rise. I think over time, over years, over decades, gold is going to continue to climb. But silver, especially as of recently, percentage-wise, it's been outperforming gold. Now, it's only gone up from maybe $16 to $26, $27. That might not seem like that big of a jump. That's only what, 10 or 11 bucks? Not that big of a deal. If gold were to go up 10 or 11 bucks, nobody bats an eye. Nobody even notices. But percentage-wise, silver has climbed much more as of lately than gold has. So, what I like to do, what I like to consider silver to be, is the opportunity metal, because I do believe it has plenty of room to grow and perform. Like I said earlier, silver, not even a decade ago, was about $50 an ounce. That's about twice as much as what it's worth right now in fiat dollar bills. Gold, on the other hand, who knows if it has the ability to reach $4,000 an ounce. I'm sure it could, but history hasn't told us that it's possible. History has not proven gold to have the capability of going to $4,000 an ounce. Also important to remember that if gold were to ever go to $4,000 an ounce and silver were to go beyond $50 an ounce, maybe even close to $100 an ounce, is it possible? Yes, absolutely. Do we know for a fact that it's going to happen? Absolutely not. But I can say this. If silver were to go that high, if gold were to go that high, that's probably really bad news for the dollar bill. Now, I could make a whole separate video talking about inflation and purchasing power diminishing and depreciating in value every single year, but I've made videos in the past talking about that. I wanted to focus a little bit more on comparing silver to gold. Now for me, personal gold to silver ratio, I do not have one, or I'm sure I have one, but I have no idea what it is. And there's two ways of going about having a personal gold to silver ratio. The first would be picking up, let's just say, for example, arbitrary numbers here, picking up 1 troy ounce of gold for every 100 troy ounces of silver that you pick up. That makes a lot of sense to a lot of people, especially when you're first starting out. Some people do things a little bit differently. Like I said, it might be, less than that. It might be a troy ounce of gold for every maybe 50 troy ounces of silver. Whatever the gold to silver ratio is for you, that's one way of going about it. Another way of going about it is by fiat dollar bills that you are packing into the metals. So regardless of how many ounces of silver you're picking up, for every $1,000 that you put into silver, which could probably get you 35 ounces of silver maybe. So for every $1,000 that you convert into silver, you will then take $1,000 and convert it into gold, which would be able to get you close to about half a troy ounce of gold. So there's two main ways of going about having a gold to silver ratio of your own. It has nothing to do with the spot price of gold and silver and how much silver is worth in comparison to how much gold is worth. It's really your own personal stack, and I would imagine that varies person to person. I personally do not have one, and I don't plan on having one. I don't really want to calculate it that way. It doesn't really matter to me what my personal gold to silver ratio is, and the reason for that is because I am prioritizing silver, and I plan on, over the next couple of years, next couple of decades even, stack as much silver as I can while stacking a little bit of gold when possible for diversification purposes. But it's also because, as I said previously, I consider silver to be the opportunity metal, but I consider gold to be the powerhouse metal, the ultimate form of wealth preservation, in my opinion and from my perspective. So why am I not focusing on the gold right now? Why am I not converting the overwhelming majority of my dollars that I put into silver? Why am I not just putting it into what I refer to as the powerhouse metal, the ultimate form of wealth preservation? Well, spot price plays a little bit of a role there. Like I said, silver could absolutely go up. Silver could go up, 50%. Silver could go up 100%. And if and when the actual gold to silver ratio gap closes in a little bit, ideally, in a perfect world, which I know we don't live in, luck and timing plays a bit of a role. You got to be strategic about it, but hopefully if I play my cards right, I'll be able to take a portion of my silver, not all of it, not half of it, not most of it, but just some of it, and trade it for gold. It reduces the weight, it reduces the bulk, it preserves those high silver spot prices. See, if I were to trade my silver for gold right now, it would take me probably about 70 or 75 ounces of silver to get 1 troy ounce of gold. Around there, just ballpark. But if I wait for the gold to silver ratio gap to close in, let's just say it goes to 1 to 40. Then instead of trading 70 or 75 ounces of silver, I would only have to trade 40 ounces of silver for the same exact amount of gold. So like I said, I'm just trying to be strategic about it. A lot of strategy goes into this. A lot of planning goes into this. Luck and timing plays a role. But if you play your cards right, I think at the end of the day, you're going to be just fine. That's just my opinion, not financial advice. But it's also important to remember silver and gold. This is real, true, honest money. Constitutionally recognized as money, internationally recognized as money, biblically recognized as money. These have been monetary metals for thousands and thousands and thousands of years. The dollar bill is a man-made invention that was created originally to be an IOU, and it loses purchasing power, it depreciates in value, it becomes weaker and weaker and more brittle every second of every minute of every hour of every day of every week of every month of every year. The dollar bill appears to be standing on its last leg. I do not know for sure if we're going to have a complete and total collapse of the dollar bill. I personally don't think that's going to happen, and I hope to God it doesn't happen, because that would be bad news for everybody, not just the people who are relying on the dollars, but it would be pretty bad news for people who are stacking silver and gold as well. However, I do think that the people who are stacking silver and gold, I consider it to be a form of financial preparation, and I do not think silver and gold are going to prevent the car crash, but they'll definitely be a bit of an airbag, if that makes sense. Anyway, if you guys enjoyed today's video, please hit that like button. If you guys like me, make sure to subscribe. New videos every single day, 365 days a year. Also subscribe to my second channel, which is my backup channel for exclusive weekly content. Brand new video over there. Go check it out. The link will be in the description. Trying really hard to hit 2,000 subscribers. Just hit 1,000. I appreciate that. Also got a brand new video dropping tonight. And of course, if you want to help support the channel in the biggest possible way, please consider getting yourself some DYDSS merchandise. Of course, we have some precious metal themed t-shirts and hoodies, which are up for grabs, along with a ton of other products, t-shirts, hoodies, even stickers, many of which are raising funds and awareness for different charity organizations. And of course, the brand new Kraken Stackin' t-shirt, hoodie, sticker, and coffee mug inspired by the beautiful 2-ounce silver Kraken coin, which, by the way, is helping us raise a little bit of funds and awareness for ocean cleanup charity organizations at no additional cost to you. Comes out of my pocket, not yours. Any and all merchandise can be found by clicking the first link in the description section down below. Thank you in advance. It's more than appreciated. And once again, I want you guys to head on down to the comments and let me know, between silver and gold, which metal do you prefer? When it comes to the silver, when it comes to the gold, do you have a personal gold to silver ratio? Do you say for every X amount of silver you pick up, you'll pick up X amount of gold? Do you say for every X amount of dollars I put into silver, I'll put X amount of dollars into gold? Do you view it that way, or do you not care? Are you somewhat like me? You don't have a personal gold to silver ratio? Do you prioritize one metal over the other? Do you go about 50-50? Are you only stacking one and completely neglecting the other? Let me know your thoughts in the comments section down below. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you tomorrow. And remember, don't you dare stop smiling. Peace.